Alright, lads and ladies, hello and welcome. This is Kenny the Puppy, and do you know those videos where people make kinda top 5, top 10, whatever videos about least favorite or favorite, some sort of movie or video or thing? Well, I was like, well, what if I do that with a book thing? But I don't exactly want to be mean to anybody. Like, someone tells me, hey, you need to do this thing on book. I have a whole list of options I could go through, but, I don't want to be mean, so I decided, you know what? I need to do one thing like that, but for my own books. So, here we go. Top 5 least favorite books I have finished. I have, a lot of books, but these are my least favorite of the ones I have finished. And then I'll be going through the books and also what I probably liked least of all. And then, yeah. So, yeah, one thing that is quite confusing about the books is that, I've been told that, I'm not really that bad, but then I'm like, oh, it is kind of bad. It is pretty bad. And so I have a friend that's, also a writer, and she's like, oh, your books are so good, and your books are so cool. And I'm like, yeah, cool. And yay. And then she shares with me some of her stuff, and I'm like, oh my goodness, your story is so cool. Your idea is so your book is so cool. It's so cool. She's like, oh, you're just saying that because you're my friend. And then I think, well, what if you're just saying that because you're my friend? And so, is it both of our books are bad or both of our books are good? Are we both just lying to each other? I'm kind of confused. Anyway, let's just go on with the list, shall we? Alright, number 5, another chapter. So, this is a book I have finished, but no one else really knows of because it is in my journals. So, really, only I have read it, and to be whatever, since it's in my journals, I was pretty quick to get to the end. After a few weeks of writing in my journals and stuff, and my hand getting sore almost every evening, and all this kind of random stuff, I was like, I need to finish it. And so I ended up finishing it, just speed finishing it, so yeah. I was able to do that in a really late evening or something. I don't even know. And then I haven't even proofread through the entire thing, but I just know looking back, I'm like, oh man, that was probably really horrible. All this character development. Oh, I probably did really poorly on it. All these things, and I in my opinion, I think I set up the villain pretty well. But other than that, I'm like, oh, but yeah. So, especially since the end, I just feel it was so rushed, and that's really just a problem with most of my things. It's just I have an idea, but then I'm like, oh, how am I gonna end this so well? So yeah, that's probably my fifth least favorite, and I've probably finished maybe 8 books or so, so that wouldn't really be that bad. Alright, number 4 would be Hazel. This one I also felt like it had a bit more of a rushed ending, except I actually did spend a bit more time on it. It is actually completely finished and put on Wattpad, so anyone can see it, anyone can read it, anyone can look at its cringiness. I think for me, I just didn't develop the characters very well. They're all just kind of bland, and then around the end, I was just kind of action, fights, and stuff, and epicness. So yeah, that's kind of how that goes, and then it has a decent ending, ending. It's kind of my least favorite part isn't exactly the ending, like with another chapter, but it's more like the part right before the ending, like the main bridge, whatever. That part, I'm like, ugh. Anyway, on to the third one, Kylo, number 3. So this one, the entire book, it was literally just I was writing. I was writing. Wait, what was it? Oh yeah, I was. Forgot the name of my own book. I have 30 of them, so have grace, please. Anyway, so yeah, I was writing the OK Prince, and I was like, oh, I need to get this done by blah 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 blah, cause it's Easter. Wait, no, I need to get this done by Easter Day and all that stuff, so people can read it. It's like a holiday kind of thing. And yeah, but then I was like, new book idea, must write now. And I was like, oh, it'll just be like 4 or 5 chapters long. I don't know. It turned out to be like twice as long as the OK Prince and Kylo. But of course, the chapters weren't as long, but still. And then throughout the whole thing, since it was just planned out to be a short, it definitely was written more like a short. The characters were just kind of bland. And yeah, just looking back at it, I'm like, oh, this could be so well done if I'd simply done this, or I might rewrite like all these books someday, but until then, just enjoy them as they are. I think they need some real modifications. Anyway, number 2, Endless Friday. If you haven't heard about this one, but maybe have heard about some of the others, probably haven't heard of any of them because, no, they don't really have that many views. Anyway, this one you probably have never heard of because probably the only one who's read it is me. Because, yeah, it has like the least viewed out of all my stories. And it only has 4 chapters, and I wrote it within 3 hours, and the book kind of shows that quality. So yeah, I literally timed myself, was like, can I finish an entire book in 3 hours? Actually, no, I just kind of looked at the clock and when I started, and then I looked at the clock and kind of did math, and I was like, oh wow, I did that in only 3 hours. So yeah, that's definitely the record for my shortest book. And yeah. So that one is, I think it's like a more deepish kind of story. Like, it's definitely not one for, like, 5 and under. That's sure, because there's, like, a gun in it. And it's like, ooh, gun. And stuff like that. And, yeah, so it's just one of those books where, like, it's more to, like, make people think. Because, like, me, I was literally just laying in bed. And I was like, what if this happened? And I was like, whoa, I need to write that down. So that's basically all I did, was just to get the idea out. Which is why it only took, like, 3 hours to write. Anyway, number 1, my most and least liked book. Except for I actually was like, oh great, there's one that might be a little bit worse. But I put that one in slot 0. But anyway, but the number 0 is just so bad, it shouldn't even count as a book. Anyway, let's go on to Incident. Incident, I was really, that is what I tell my friends, is I was really just, basically I just went to that book anytime I was feeling really emotional for whatever reason, so it's kind of just like my junk book or whatever. Just anytime I wanted a hug, I'd write down that I got a hug or something, and then, and then whenever, like, I felt this way about this thing, I'd write that down in there, and then it got to a point where I was like, well, what is even supposed to happen? Like, I had an overall, like with all my books, I never start writing until I know exactly how I want it to end, except for one book, but anyway, I like most of my books, I never start writing it until I know at least how it's going to end. And then other times I try to figure out, like, and then with the majority, I also try to figure out what the bridge and the plots are and stuff like that. But I at least want to make sure I know how it ends. Probably why I have so many, because I just think about those 2 elements, and then they turn out not very good. Oh no. So yeah, Incident was definitely more like one of those books, and you can tell through the quality I'm literally just jumping, lots of time skips, lots of random stuff like that. And yeah, it's just I never recommend it. In fact, to like my friends in real life, I'd say please don't read this, because like you read this and you probably know some stuff that even I don't know about myself. I have no idea. I haven't really read through the entire thing in a while. But yeah, that is my least favorite of my own books. Oh yeah, and there's also like number 0. The Existence of Herobrine? Question mark. That one is more of a kind of fake story. I wrote it in probably like the second longest thing. I like maybe 5 hours on and off. But yeah, that one was pretty short too, and it's because I wrote it as one thing, And then after the day after I published, like I published it all at the same time because it wouldn't make sense as separate parts. You have to kind of know the whole thing. So I published it all, and then the day after I was like, oh wait, I need to change this one thing because then it's gonna make people think this and all this kind of random stuff. So I went through and changed all the names, all these little details. Well, I missed a bit, but like I changed just about everything I could, so it would probably fit the lore better. Change these random things. And so yeah, and then just like reading through it, I'm like, what even was this story? It's literally just this random jimble jamble of thing. I don't even know what to call it. That's why I'm just like, this isn't even a book. It isn't even a book. It's like 5 chapters and they aren't even really chapters. One of them is just like a lol, you got pranked, bro. So yeah, that's just about all of them. As I write more, I will make sure to update this little list thing. And yeah, maybe whenever I have completed maybe 20 of my books, I'll do a top 10 least favorite or something. And then I'll have more, probably better reasons as to why and all this stuff. But this is what I have so far, and I hope you guys maybe check out these books, maybe rank them yourself, let me know what you think. And yeah, maybe check out the books that aren't on this list, and you'll find yourself like, oh my gosh, this is probably epic, except for all these random plots, stories like in Happy Pappy. He doesn't do this for whatever reason, and I actually almost put that one on my list, but I was like, no, this one's worse. So yeah, because plot stuff. Anyway, oh yeah. If you want me to actually do the people that have Wattpad accounts, if you guys want me to like actually do kind of list random, just like talking about a book, not even just like listing them, but just like kind of doing a video kind of review thing on them, that I would find it pretty interesting. Just kind of let me know what you think about that, and then I'll think about it as well, because I have some interesting ideas. But other than that, just kind of let me know what you think, if you want me to get more into the grammatic stuff, or if you want me to get into like deeper stuff. This was just kind of like I want to do numbering stuff and let people know that I have way too many books for someone of my age. I've written all these books within like what like half a year. And that's just the finished ones, and I have like several of them that aren't even published, that are like something like 10 chapters long, some of them, and they just have so many spoilers that they're not even published. So, I'm just writing them, and nobody will read them for like probably a few years or whatever, because I would need to finish the other books first and all this kind of stuff, and and so yeah.